What's up, guys? This is Ornlu with another campaign video where Ornlu is very annoyed because he has just spent a good 15-20 minutes recording this video already, but then the game crashed. So now we have to do it all over again. So let's do it again.
And now, said Father Armand, is where I enter the story. The battle between Hun and Roman was fought at the end of June 451. The Romans were commanded by Aetius, a brilliant and celebrated general who had been held hostage by the Huns when he was a boy. Aetius knew Attila, and he knew the Hunnic ways. Since he had returned to the Western Empire, Aetius had done more than any man to keep Rome alive throughout the period of barbarian invasions. His army was not large enough to face Attila alone, so Aetius convinced tribes of the Alans and Visigoths to ally with him. Even though these dubious allies had a common hatred of the Huns, it was still a remarkable achievement on Aetius's part to have drawn them into an effective military relationship. The Huns were eager for battle. Attila's shamans looked at the entrails of cattle and the color of sheep bones and prophesied that the Huns would meet defeat on the Catalaunian Fields. However, they also foresaw that the commander of the opposing force would be killed. Attila must have thought this a fair trade, because he brought battle to Aetius and the Goths. Before blood was drawn, Attila stood before his assembled troops, clutching the sword of Mars in his fist. He told them, "It is a right of nature to glut the soul with vengeance. I shall hurl the first spear at the foe. If any man can stand at rest while Attila fights, he is a dead man."
And here we see the cowardice of Attila, because he doesn't actually appear in this scenario. Anyway, defeat your enemies. Huns have Poplin with 150, and this plays like a death match. We're on the right side of the battlefield with the Ostrogoths. The Romans are to the northwest, the Alans to the west, and the Visigoths are to the southwest-ish.
Attila, you brought us to this accursed battlefield. Now you must keep the Romans from killing us all.
Okay, so, now with me gaining my wits. This does play out similarly to a deathmatch, but in DM, I believe you start out with 20,000 wood, food, and gold, and then 8,000 stone. Whereas here, you start with 2,000 wood, 8,000, 8,000, 1,000, which is obviously way less. So you still have to be a little bit careful with your resources. Whoa, lady, you are getting stuck. That's not ideal. Anywho, the scenario does have an achievement where you have to beat it in less than 30 minutes. I have gotten it, as I have gotten all of the achievements. And we'll see if we can get the achievement ourselves here, but I'm not gonna, break my back trying to get it, as this is not an achievement guide. This is a just tell you how to beat the scenario guide thing. Okay, so now that we have that established... Oh crap, I already have the castle up. Yeah. Probably won't be able to get the achievement. If you guys are looking to hunt the achievement, on hard especially, you need to send a couple of your Tarkans up there right away to prevent the Romans from getting a castle up. There's even like a little bit of RNG involved, but you can usually kill a villager or two or something, and that should be enough to... Great. Yeah. Alans defeated. Easy peasy peasy. Now, southward bound. This, if I were really trying to do the speed run or the achievement, those guys would have already been sent that way, but Ornlu is not too stressed about that. So, thinking about some changes, in my experience, the Ostrogoths are generally a bit more useful than they were back in AOC/HD. They'll advance to the Imperial Age pretty soon, which is pretty dandy. And I feel like they'll attack a little bit more. Anyway, if you can prevent 2 castles from going up, that is super nice. I guess no one's building that right now. Okay, that is up. We'll also get a castle for our own defense. Sorry, the scenario is so hectic in the beginning that it's hard to give my notes as I would normally do. This was definitely an achievement that took me several tries to get. Want to get a villager under the TC at least pretty soon, otherwise they'll start laming your sheep. And when I say they, I mean your allies sometimes. Jerks. So, I mean, if you're a more casual player, you can certainly play this like a big battle, just like waiting until you have post-imp and then clashing with huge armies against the Romans and whatnot. But yeah, I like doing things in at least a somewhat efficient manner. But like I said, you have way less starting resources than normal DM, so we do have to be careful to get our economy going up much sooner than you would in normal DM. And you don't have post-imp res, yeah. So that's why I'm prioritizing getting resources rather than just like trying to get all the buildings up and stuff as soon as possible. See? These lamers, man. Oh, that's just a wolf. Anyway, Visigoths should also be biting the dust here pretty soon. Sometimes have a TC over to the west if I recall correctly. Oh. Imp. Oh, they have a TC over there. So yeah, these guys are kind of pushovers. Visigoths are definitely a little bit trickier than Alans, who are, like, they don't even start with an army. I think they just start with, like, a scout or something. Visigoths do, you know, train some infantry and stuff and build some castles right away. But, as you saw right there, they can be defeated in under 10 minutes. And I'm sure the speedrunning people have done it even faster. So the Romans are going to be training some combination of paladins, cataphracts, scorpions, champions, those sorts of things. But they'll have lots of towers and castles and stuff in their base, so we will need something of an economy to take them down. Which is where the challenge with this achievement comes in. Otherwise, it's really hard to do in 30 minutes or less. Or, I mean, it is hard to do in 30 minutes or less, but the fact that the Romans have so many defensive structures and are Byzantines makes it especially challenging. And the Romans have so many more resources than you. Like, if you look at their score, it's pretty much a double theirs, because I think they get essentially double your resources. Anywho, we'll be getting to Imp in just a second. I'm going to wait for our Imp upgrades to come in, at least Cavalier and Plate Barding. Because I don't want to lose everything to the Romans. Here we're not going to try and defeat the Romans, at least not yet. We're going to focus more on raiding them, trying to keep their villager count down, that sort of thing. We just send in maybe a few right now. If you can drip. Yeah, they already have a pretty big army. Fully upgraded elite cataphracts. But if we're able to draw them away from their towers and stuff, that does make our lives much, much easier. There's +4. Now we're going to send a couple of villas forward for some siege workshops, because siege reps are obviously going to be quite important here. Let's run away! Yeah, a lot of these guys are pretty low HP. Probably sacrifice a few off gold right now. But yeah, we'll actually need several minutes here, so it looks like we'll probably end up losing these cavaliers. Which is fine. I mean, obviously, it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Hopefully these villagers will be able to, like, sneak up some siege workshops here. That would be quite useful. Yeah, Ostrogoth, that force isn't really going to be able to break the Romans. So if you're interested on, you know, beating the scenario to get the achievement, or just speedrunning, I guess, in general, send one of your 2 starting Tarkans here, or 1 or 2 starting Tarkans here, and kill the villagers as they attempt to build the buildings. Attempt to build the buildings. I guess that does make sense. Because then they'll delete the buildings. You might think of that as cheap, but it's pretty much impossible to get it on hard unless you use certain things like that. Or, you know, get the achievement on hard and all that. Awesome. So we'll get our villager count up to, you know, 80-something. Timu. Guys can just mine gold for now. But yeah, the important thing is to at least get most of your enemies out of the way right away, because then it's just 1v1 against the Romans. I mean, technically it's a 2v1, but I don't think the Ostrogoths are really going to be doing a whole lot. Still more than they did in Age of Conquerors, but that's not really saying much. But also like to get things like a market and a university. Yeah, I'm almost certain we're not going to be able to get the achievement, but that's fine. Damn it! We've been found! Run away! Yeah, the rest of us go on gold or something, I don't know. No! So, our army composition against the Romans is going to essentially just be Paladin, Cav Archer. Who would have thunk? Gonna need to send some more villagers over. Damn, that food price is high. Well, the game hasn't crashed yet. If this were like my attempt from a half hour ago, the game would have crashed by now. Anywho, we have around enough villagers at this point. We don't want to completely overboom. That is a rather large army. Let's try and regroup at least a little bit. Let's not send their villagers to their untimely demise. Just a few more non-gold. Actually need way more on gold. Come to think of it. Ooh, that's rather annoying. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did manage to grab Blast Furnace though, which is a nice little something. Oh yeah, I should have gotten that a while ago. Do they have Logistica? Probably. Okay, Siege Workshops, take 2. I could probably sell a little food for a lot of... there we go. Alright, perfect. Paladin is officially on the way. Maybe send a few vills onto stone. But I would like to get some Cav Archers, as they're going to be quite helpful against the Cataphracts and Champions. Also, I think you only had a population limit of 100 back in AOC, so this is nice that you now get 150. Just like the last scenario, get to truly unleash the Horde. Alright, there's Paladin. Get some of those guys. Some.
This river will run red with the blood of Visigoths and Romans.
As we prepare our attack. You can see that we're actually drawing close to the 30-minute mark already for reference. The reason that it seems like we won't even be close, because we really won't, to getting the achievement is because it's pretty contingent on being able to snipe the castles before they complete. Or at least mostly, like no more than 1 max. Masonry! Getting all them upgrades. Gonna want lots and lots of siege rams. Let's test the waters at least with these paladins, see how large their standing army is right now. Oh, those are some undefended scorpions. It's not too bad, honestly. Can just bait them a little bit. Okay, got everything set chemistry, which is on the way. Okay, maybe it's a little bit bad. Maybe it's a little bit bad. Should get some forward stables. With the power of micro! They're trying to tread my cav archers, man! Oh, that's nice. Good castle up here. It was nice though back in AOC, or at least much more convenient because Huns used to have access to Treadmill Crane, which you could grab at some point. Yes, 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 I get it. I get it, I get it. Need more wood income. Anyway, our score is almost up to where the Romans are at, so that's at least somewhat comforting. Well, these villagers are ripe for the pickings. Good old 131 HP castles. Damn. They have a lot more starting resources than you. And they get all the Castle Age upgrades, you know, instantly because they start in Imperial Age. They're still trying to tread my units, man. Is this still a good sell price? Still pretty good. So many cataphracts. Oh! Sneakers! Oh, they built some barracks down here. They can do that. I need to divert some paladins. Oh, I lost all my cav archers. That was a true stroke of genius. Anyway, Tarkins, go for the buildings! Or something. The problem is they can pretty much afford production all the time, because they still probably have plenty of starting resources left. Damn, it's been a while since I've actually, like, played this legit. Oops. Fail hotkey. Well, at least they're taking incredibly inefficient fights. And their army composition does cost about 8 trillion gold, which they do have limited amounts of, if not incredibly large amounts. No? I mean, it's not really worth it to make trash units because they're not really making units that you can counter with trash units. I mean, champions and cataphracts don't have a trash unit counter. Maybe get some more gold income somewhere. Here's some gold. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, where, like, if you really are trying to get the achievement, you need to make sure they don't get all these castles up, because they just take way too damn long to break through. Killing these villagers is nice, though. You guys are gonna need to get some more gold income. Oh, look at that siege ram splash radiage. Radiage? I can't talk. But yeah, like, especially in the beginning, like, they'll try and build a bunch of castles at once. Because I have done this the way where you defeat the Romans first and save everyone else to the end. I think the way I did it in this video is faster, like if you execute it perfectly. But in that situation, you just don't go for, you just go for the Romans with like 2 or 3 cataphracts. Not cataphracts, Tarkans. You get the idea. Bloop. So we've pretty much broken them at this point. Honestly, they're probably out of their starting resources. That is probably why they have largely stopped making units. Of course, forgetting to set rally points is fun. But yeah. Being able to retain this big old ball of cav archers is quite nice. Just able to snipe any reinforcing units. It's AI Microman. Yeah, the Ostrogoths are here now too to join the party. Even Dash is barking in the background to show his approval. Yeah, this is more or less just cleanup. If I recall correctly, I don't remember if they changed it or not in DE, but like you'd have a space beyond these wood lines. It's not like these wood lines that would have extended to the edge of the map in the base version. There would have just been some empty land behind it. I don't remember if that's the case now or not. Are they deleting stuff or am I killing stuff? Might have to kill all their villagers. Is that deleting stuff?
The Roman army lies scattered. Now there is nothing to stop our invasion of Italy.
Huzzah! There we go. So, 52 minutes, little off for the achievement. Oh yeah, they did actually fill in everything, so it's just this one little area. But yep, even if we didn't get the achievement, still shows you guys how to beat this mission on hard. Definitely go for the early aggression, build the stables before you build the town centers and stuff.
It was a catastrophic battle. One of the largest and greatest the world has ever seen. The stream was turned to a torrent by the rushing of blood. I pity those that were forced to slake their thirst from it. Cada vera vero innumera, the Romans said afterwards. Truly countless bodies. Perhaps 300,000 men were left dead on the Catalaunian Fields. It is said the ghosts of those killed continued to fight for several days. I passed within inches of the fell Hun king as he stalked the battlefield, trying to determine which of his chieftains and allies yet lived. When he found me, huddled beneath my shield, I made my peace with God. But Attila did not seek my decapitation. He saw that I was a holy man and ordered me to join his retinue of foreign advisors. That is how you know so much of the Huns, I offered. The priest nodded. Despite the carnage, the outcome of the legendary battle was unclear. Attila had lost much of his cavalry, but the Roman army would never recover from its losses. For a time, no one knew if the Hunnic king would continue to pursue the hand of Honoria. But what of the prophecy, I asked? Did Aetius die on the battlefield? Nay, it was Theodoric the Goth, not Aetius, who died and fulfilled the prophecy. Aetius knew that if he utterly destroyed the Huns, then the Visigoths would have no need for a Roman alliance, and Rome would face yet another barbarian threat. And so, Aetius retired from military life, hoping that the outcome of the Catalaunian Fields would leave the Huns and Goths in a stalemate. He hoped he had done enough to save his empire. He had not.
Baited. So, here's the kill-death ratio, pretty decent. Obviously, the Alans were able to gather 1 wood. feels bad, man. Anyway, here's the timeline. See, the Visigoths and Alans not lasting too long. Anyway, that was the Catalaunian Fields. Only took 2 tries. As in, like, 2 attempts of recording this video. But next will be the final Attila scenario, the Fall of Rome. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.